No thanks. Right, okay, I suppose I better talk about the Man United game, I suppose, just briefly. Yes, okay. Well, I've already mentioned the fact that you've got all these players that are paid way too high, so therefore they know that the club can't sell them, so that's not good, right? If they know that, then they don't need to really play, do they? They're going to get paid anyway. If the club doesn't really care, why should they care? Yeah, why should they really, run until they die? If the club doesn't care. It's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point that they're making if they're saying that, thinking that themselves. But also, people were saying about the owners. Okay. Well, as I said before, the answer to that is quite simple. Yeah, fans, if you want the owners out, you've got to stop giving them money. Because they will not leave, all the while you're giving them money. Yeah, you're determined to show that you're still going to support the team. Well, where do you think the money goes? Yeah, was it? I think Gary Neville was saying about the club took, I think last year the club gave the Glazers 24 million last year. Well, where did that money come from? Part of it comes from sponsorships and stuff like that. But even sponsorships comes from the fact that people are buying the shirts and with the merchandise. If you weren't doing that, if you stopped doing that until the Glazers left, you can make a difference. You can actually influence them leaving because the sponsorship people will pull out. If nobody's buying the shirts and everyone's going to see the matches, or if they buy the tickets but then don't turn up, of course people won't do that, will they? But I bought a ticket, I might as well go and turn up. Yeah, but do you want your team to be better? If you think the owners are the problem and you want the owners out, the only way you're going to get the owners out is to stop giving them money. The owners are like these blinking trees. So these trees are falling over, but a lot of these trees that are falling over are still getting some water from the ground. Not a lot, but some. And so they've still got, not these ones particularly, but some of them have still got green shoots on them. Yeah. Even though they fell over a long time ago. The reason is because they're still getting some degree of liquid from the ground. That's what the Glazers have been on. All the while they're getting money. They don't care whether fans are protesting in the stadium or outside the stadium. Well, they care. As long as the money's coming in. Whereas Gary Neville said they're hiding out in Tampa in America. They don't care if the press is a bit bad about United. They don't care if we have another terrible transfer window. Well, if you think about it, the last transfer window was actually pretty decent. You got Thuram in, you got Ronaldo in, you got Sancho in. Now, Sancho was a player they were chasing for a long time. You got him in. Is he good enough for United? I've no idea. At the moment, can't tell because part of the problem is because United have not really had a front man, and so really United attackers have all been told keep the ball, work the ball forwards. Don't try and get past people because when you do, there'll be no one in the box because we haven't really got a front man. But then all of a sudden, we get a front man, Ronaldo, and nobody's taking players on to get the ball in the box because they've learnt previously not to do that. It's not helpful. And with Sancho, he played brilliantly on the left. When he played well for Dortmund, he often played on the left, where he came in and he created. It's what United do. They play him on the right. Okay. Guarantee, if it's the other way around, if he played really, really well on the right for Dortmund, United would be playing him on the left. Yeah, there's just no common sense here at all. Yeah, I had Talk Sport on earlier, and they were talking about it. And one of the people who rang up said about Ralf Rangnick, said that they had someone in who could build clubs and who basically said what United need to do, and they sacked him. And the people in Talk Sport said, yeah, but he did terrible as a manager. Well, because he's not a manager. He's brought in on a temporary basis to basically manage a team over a short spell of time. You know, try to bring in a certain way of playing to these players. He noticed very, very quickly that these players couldn't do that. That they were not capable of playing that style of football. So what does Ten Hag do? Tries the same style of football with the same players. Clearly, it ain't going to work. Ralf Rangnick told you so. He said they can't do this. He said you've got to sell 10 players and get 10 players in. But 10 players who are the right players for that style of football. For the style you want to play, you're going to bring the right players in to be able to do that. None of the big name players, forget that. You know, don't try for De Jong and Nunez and players like that. Get the players in who can play that style of football that you're trying to play. Focus your attention on that. Well, did they do that? Nope. Not at all. And here they are. They're in the same situation now as they were with Rangnick. Yeah, with players who can't play that system because they just don't have the DNA in their football brain to be able to play that way. That's not the way they play. They weren't brought initially or brought in the team to play that way. You know, Scott McTominay can't play that way. It's not his nature. You know, even Fred. Fred is good. Fred could play the way that Rangnick wanted to play. He could play the way that obviously Ten Hag wants to play, therefore. Yeah, busting in player, trying to get the ball forward quickly and harassing the opposition. He can do that very well, but then of course Ten Hag tries to get into play as a central defensive midfielder or as a holding midfielder. That's not his position. That's not how he plays. So again, square pegs round holes again. Yeah. Which, yeah, you can certainly say it's the owners that's to blame for that. It's a fair point. Yeah. Well, because the owners bring in this manager. They brought in Rangnick first of all, gave him a 2-year contract to say he would stay on for another 2 years and help to get the club where it needs to be. But then when he pointed out what needs to happen with the club, that it needs to be basically open heart surgery to the club because it is that bad, they said, no, we're not going to do that. Well, as Gary Neville pointed out, the owners haven't really spent any of their own money. They spent money that the club has generated on transfers. They've not spent their own money. Yeah, they take a lot of credit for anything the club has done well in the past when they were there, certainly when Alex Ferguson was there. And actually, Mark Goldbridge now has a thing on TalkSport. And he was saying that Sir Alex Ferguson wasn't to blame. Alex Ferguson never left the club weak. Well, again, that's rubbish. Yeah, Alex Ferguson knew exactly what the Glazers were doing and how they were running that business. He got out. And, yeah, what was it? Mark Goldbridge said that he thinks if Alex Ferguson had stayed on for another season, he would have won the league again. There is no way, shape or form that would have happened. Absolutely no way, shape or form. I mean, even with Liverpool playing poorly, Man City playing poorly, Chelsea playing poorly, Arsenal playing poorly, Tottenham playing poorly in that season, Man United just won the league. It wasn't a massively convincing win. All these other teams had really, really poor seasons in that season. They were basically giving it to Sir Alex Ferguson in that last win. Yeah. He knew what he was leaving behind. He knew that. He knew that, Evra, Vidic, Rio, Giggs, Scholes, even Van Persie were basically on their last legs. The new manager wasn't going to get much out of that. And he went and got David Moyes and said that this is the man to replace me. Based on what? Based on what success have David Moyes ever had? There were people you could have got. You could have got Klopp. You could have got Guardiola beforehand. But no, David Moyes was the man. Really? Oh, based upon his massive record of winning things at Everton. No. And of course, the problem is United lost Ferguson and David Gill at the same time. That was a big ouch. Yeah. So, yeah. I think the pain is not over. Will United bring in more players in this transfer window? Yes, I think they will. Will they be the right players? No. No, they're going to panic buy. Simple as that. They are going to panic buy. Put it this way: if you were De Jong, would you come to United? With the situation as it is, would you come to United if you were De Jong? Certainly, even would you trust Ten Hag at United? The fact that he is not starting Thuram and he's bringing off the player he brought in to help the defence and keeping Maguire on the pitch. Would you want to come? No, I don't think you would you? I think you'd say no. See what I mean about his trees and green still? Yeah. That one's still got green, it fell over. And it's still got a few roots in the soil and it's surviving. Is it ever going to thrive again? No, but it will survive. Yeah, you've got to basically make the well completely dry if you want the Glazers out. You won't get them out any other way. So as a unit, fans have got to say, no more. We're not giving any more money to the Glazers. What they've had so far, that's what they're going to get. They're not going to get any more. And if that means that we don't go to the matches, then okay. Okay. So there you go. Right, you take care. I'll speak to you soon. I wish you well if you're supporting. I hope you have joy, but I hope you have a good week. Anything to make up for this weekend for you. You take care. Bye bye.